views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
You are now watching the Alan and DJ Show.
Yo, 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 Milwaukee, Sun Prairie, and all the surrounding areas. Y'all know what time this is. It's time for the Alan and DJ TV show program. And of course, it's your boy Alan.
And I'm DJ.
DJ, what's poppin', my dirty?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. You know, I'm trying to change some things about myself, man. You know,
Okay.
Life is getting a little better. You know, we're starting to, get this money up.
Yeah.
You know, we got some opportunities coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
And, I told Bambi the deer the other day, I said, I'm sick of going a certain way when we go into the forest, if that makes sense. I'm tired of going this way. I'm tired of catching deer meat every night. We're trying to survive. I want to do something a little different. And, I said, I want to get into the habit of just changing things. I don't want to get in the habit of just doing things different. And she said, that's okay. So I was like, well, when I talk to yo, bro, that's it. That's it. But let's talk about this in a different type of way.
Okay.
So let's talk about habit stacking.
Okay.
So let's talk about ways to implement habit stacking in your life.
Okay.
And I think this is very important. So without further ado, we're finna bring this to you that the way the Alan the DJ show is accustomed to bringing it to you. So bullet point number 1, man. Let's talk about a DJ.
Okay.
Let's list current habits.
Okay. Before we get off into that, let's give them an actual definition of habit stacking, because
Let's do it, DJ.
Little do people know, even though we say these terms, some people out here really don't know what that means. So I'm gonna give you a definition of what that means before we actually go off into that particular topic first.
Let's do it.
First of all, habit stacking is a behavioral technique that involves anchoring a new desired habit to an existing automatic routine.
Yeah, so I'm glad you broke that down because, when we talk about habit stacking, sometimes, the reason why I'm bringing this up today, because I feel like sometimes it's good to have current habits that you're doing, but sometimes it's good to kind of switch things up a little bit. They say, the moment you change your thoughts, the whole world change, and things around you can change, and it can't change till you change your habits. Mm-hmm. So, let's map out our daily routine, for an example. We talk about list of current habits. Mm-hmm. Let's say you wake up in the morning, first thing you should do is brush your teeth. No, or wash your face, either, but you can't go wrong. But wash your face, brush your teeth. Some go right away and make coffee. I wouldn't do that if it was me. I would jump in the shower or take a bath. Get yourself zestfully clean. Then as you will, you wake up, so you get yourself dressed. Now you in your, bathrobe. Yeah. You like me, of course. You make a ginger shot so you get your coffee. And then you start to turn on the TV, see what's going on in the everyday news. And then you start getting yourself together. That's most people's morning routines, of course. Or, to get their kids ready for school, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So those are, good morning routines and good habits. There's sometimes, you might want to flip the script a little bit and say, you know what, let me change my habits up a little bit. Mm-hmm. How about if I do my skincare routine at night, wake up in the morning, of course, you got to wash your face and stuff, but you change it up a little bit. You might be like, okay, I'm going to apply my AM routine stuff in the morning, and then let me start sliding in the gym. Or, let me slide in some work that I have to get done for the day, whether if it's sales or whether if it's bullet points that we do. It's good to just change your habits up a little bit instead of just always going through the same old.
The thing with listing your habits is what it does is it helps you basically identify the natural cues that triggers your current behaviors. And because you're recognizing those, you're basically intentionally inserting the new ones in, as the old ones, as you keep the old ones, you're carefully or intentionally inserting the new ones in.
Most definitely. And, funny that you mentioned behavior. So let's talk about bullet point 2, brainstorming new behaviors. So DJ, so how does this identify with implementing habit stacking into our lives, or anybody that's out there, whether it's even William J. Smith, like, or the people out there, like, how does this like helps or brainstorming?
It basically like allows you to create a clear and effective strategy for building new habits.
So when you identify, identifying habits that you are wanting to build, you have to ensure that they are small and actionable. And what I mean by that is making sure that it's something that you can ideally and realistically that you can do. You know, you want to make sure that, okay, let's say for an example, your goal is to lose 50, 60 pounds. I want to start off by losing maybe 3 to 4 pounds this week. Now that's something that can be done. And then I want to start saving money so I can eventually open up a CD account or IRA, or maybe like an IRA account. So then ideally you'll put up a certain amount of dollars so you can get these type of things done. So that's what I mean when it comes to like brainstorming new behaviors, like changing up your routine and changing up the way you think, which is going to help you change your what? Behavior.
Absolutely. By pairing the new behaviors with the existing ones, like you can make it easier to like basically introduce like new behaviors into your early routines.
And, you know, it's also good to, you know what I'm saying, be around somebody who that, you know what I'm saying, you might see yourself looking up to say, hey, you know, I like the way she move, or I like the way he move, and I like the way, you know, Dirty take care of himself and the way he handle his business. And, you know, always say, get around your, surround yourself with a new circle of people and get around your future. And I promise you, you will start becoming your future and everything around you will start changing like you cannot lose.
Absolutely.
And then bullet point 3. Now this is what gets interesting to me, D, because now we're gonna talk about selecting the best trigger to help identify habit stacking.
Basically, like what this does is like it leverages the brain's existing neural pathways and patterns, so you could be able to like catch on to that particular trigger, or like what makes that habit what it is, to add to the new habit.
There you go. So, for an example, so let's say you're choosing like an existing habit, right? And this habit is very consistently, whether if it's the same location or whether if it's the same time frame as your goal. So you might say, okay, I want to get to this goal by the summer. And that's cool. And, you know, you might see yourself going to the same gym, the same location. You might want to get into a new habit where you might say, you know what, this gym not the best for me. I want to go to a new location because I see it's a lot of business people out here. And I see it's a lot of, you know, pretty much go-getters. People who are serious about what they're doing, serious about the routines and the habits that they're into, and they have the same same amount of mutual goals that you guys might have. And, you know, you can say, hey, I can see myself growing out here. I see myself meeting new people. That's what I mean when it's like select the best trigger that gets you going. Like you might have like a juice spot. You might, hey, this is what I do. Every time I leave the gym, I always go to the juice spot. You know, and you're starting to meet a lot of different people out there, and like it's a trigger to make you be like, yo, I need to be out here more often, and it's a trigger for me to say, hey, I got to get up at 6:30 in the morning. I got to get to the gym before I get to work. That's what I mean by that. You know, like instead of doing a constant, you know, same old.
Absolutely. And the crazy thing, Al, about selecting like your trigger is because like what the trigger does is like put you in like basically like autopilot, where instead of you like having to use your brain power to like actually think about that trigger, it'll come up automatically. So you ever notice sometimes, like, you know when you have to be at work, right? Or you know when you have to, like, let's say, for us all, as a team, as an example, so we know certain days we have to record. Yeah. So then what it's going to do is, like, become a no-brainer. Or, you know, you might have to get the kids up in the morning. So it becomes as a no-brainer. That's what we mean by it's just going to rotate in your head. Like, oh, I know I got to get the kids up at 6:30. I got to start getting them ready for school, as well as getting myself ready for work. And that's a habit and a routine that you do.
And bullet point 4, let's talk about draft and stacking formula now.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean by this, Alan? Well, DJ gonna break it down for you.
All right. Basically, like what this does is like it's a clear way to connect new habits to existing ones, basically. So, for an example, like let's say you're used to getting up and brushing your teeth.
Yep.
After you brush your teeth, do 10 squats. Or another example would be like, while you brew, like let's say some people like to brew their coffee in the morning. Like while you brewing your coffee, go meditate for 2 minutes because it's gonna take you that much time to brew your coffee.
There you go. So when it comes to like, stacking and drafting, it's like using a formula with your current formula along as like you add a new formula. So even like mantras, for an example, so like they're saying like with your current habit, you like before I get this done, I need to do this, or instead of saying, hey, I will get this done, and after that, I will be going to the gym. So you see, it's two different behaviors there. One's kind of like, second guessing myself, but I know I need to get it done versus, oh no, I'm going to get that done. And this got to happen before I do this, X, Y, and Z. I cannot let nothing get in the way of what I have to do right here. Or after that, I will be going into the office and, getting this paperwork done, and also getting prepared for my 2:30 a.m. 2:30 p.m. meeting, because this is important. So that's what I mean by that when you talk about drafting and stacking formulas to help you build to that habit stacking.
Absolutely. And what the formula also does is like it not only clarifies the new behavior, but it also like provides the trigger, and it also facilitates the consistency in that new behavior.
Exactly. Well enough said, DJ. And then also too, a bullet point 5, like people don't realize this, but this should easily be done. Start extremely small. What's the rush?
Yeah.
So when you're making a new habit, take less than more than 2 minutes. Whether like after you brushing your teeth, instead of flossing like crazy, floss one tooth at a time. Or like when you get ready to go to bed at night, and you always read the kids a great bedtime story. After that, take you about 2 minutes to yourself and go meditate. Or, get off the social media, or just get off the grid for a minute and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take these 15, 20 minutes and work more into my business. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean by, like little things, but start extremely small, like not overwhelm yourself or anything. Yeah.
But like what this also does is it basically allows for the new behavior to gradually come into fold. But it also like reduces the cognitive load, meaning like you don't have to think so hard to like do your new behavior.
Because like it's gonna start naturally coming to you.
Yeah.
And it's gonna start naturally getting like really easier, where you're just like, yo, like, okay, I like the way this feels. I like the way that I'm getting, I'm being more productive. And like this actually helps me because now in the morning I don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. So, that's why I say do little things, like whether if it's like, okay, I know I got to get this 25, 30-page research paper done, but let me knock out 5 pages tonight. Then let me knock out another 5 pages, slowly till you get it all done.
Absolutely.
And bullet point 6, ensure contextual fit. So, DJ, they don't know what that means.
No, they don't.
So break it down to them.
Basically, like what ensuring contextual fix does is basically like it leverages the brain's natural tendencies to follow patterns. So basically what it's doing is you're going through a pattern, and when you go through a pattern, like basically your brain is reciting that pattern in its head, and it's instead of it reciting it in your head, now you're putting it into action, but it's basically making you follow that pattern repeatedly over and over again, basically putting you in autopilot to where like it becomes more routine instead of you just thinking about it.
Most definitely. So to me, like when I talk about the ensure contextual fit, or contextual fit. So it's like new habits that should fit into things that you have like now as a trigger. Logically, that fits in with the trigger. So we'll say like like DJ said, for one, doing squats while brewing your coffee. Or, doing push-ups before you know what I'm saying, like your breakfast and everything. And you're like, yo, you know what, I'm going to get these push-ups done. So first thing I do when I get out of bed, I got to drop down and do my 20 push-ups. Then I go wash my face, brush my teeth, so on and so forth. Just like, little things and new things at the same time that's going to fit in with your current triggers. And
Absolutely.
Boom, there you go.
And like the reason why like this is like so important is because you don't want to you don't want to mix a good habit with a bad habit, because that bad habit will outdo that good habit.
Exactly. And then eventually that's what start to cause we'll say fatigue. Because eventually, like you'll start getting tired because you're throwing too much on yourself. Or, you start getting lazy and, like you start like what I like to call taking plays off. Where you're like, man, I don't feel like it, bro, I'll do it tomorrow. Then you're going to start getting into that cycle. Then everything will start getting pushed back. And we don't want to do that. And then bullet point 7, let's talk about make it visual obvious now. So now, DJ, this is going to kind of like fit into like now, let's have a vision.
Yep.
So break that down to him, DJ.
Basically what this does is it serves as an anchor that helps reinforce the new behavior within the existing routine by having a visual cue in the right location.
There you go. So when it comes to like place or environment, or like even when it comes to like quotes, when it comes to like new habit that triggers to ensure that you remember it. So if I got to write something on the refrigerator saying, okay, I got to call the doctor at 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow to make me a doctor's appointment, or to go to the dentist to make me a dentist appointment, or one of the kids need to get, a dentist appointment done. Why you think back when you was little, your mom had like little
Post-it notes?
Yeah, like little Post-it notes or cue cards on the board that reminds her, oh yeah, I do need to call the doctor in the morning. So if I walk past the refrigerator and I forget, I see that, I just remembered. I got to call the doctor in the morning. So that's what I mean when it comes to making it visual obvious.
Absolutely.
Because you need to get around to certain locations.
Absolutely. But like it can also easily like trigger like new habits without a conscious thought.
There you go. Because they say once you do something more than 3 or 4 times, it starts to become like more like routine-ish if you like it.
Yeah.
If it's bad habits or good habits, start becoming like way more routine-ish. And the last and final bullet point, be consistent and flexible.
Absolutely.
So this is like easy, but it's very important though, DJ.
Absolutely.
And why people should be more flexible and consistent.
What consistency does is like it ensures that the new behavior becomes second nature to you. And when you become flexible, it allows you to adjust to new situations or adjust to the situation if something happens within that situation.
Because when you perform the habit stack daily, what it does is it helps you build momentum to redefine a new routine. And when you're also building consistency as well, because every day you're telling yourself, I got to do this, I got to do that. I'm tired, but I got to get it done. Or, man, Will, I really don't feel like doing that bullet point today, man. But you know what? We got to get it done. DJ, man, I really don't. Hey, I know we were supposed to go to the gym yesterday. Yep, but, man, we slipping. We went for 3 days in a row. You got to stay consistent if you want to get better at this. Fine, let's go. Or, let's continue to keep getting this research done. Or, let's continue to keep stacking this money up. That's a consistency. And when you stay consistent and when you also be flexible as well. Like, don't put too much on yourself. Because then that's when you start to overwhelm yourself.
Absolutely.
So, like try to be flexible and open to, okay, I'm going to leave this time slot open in case if somebody need me to do this or in case if I need to handle some business around this time frame in the afternoon. I don't want to put too much on myself. But I know I need to be handling business right now, so I got to stay consistent.
Yeah, but also like with flexibility too, like you got to prepare for like stuff that can come up or something that can happen in your life to where like it could throw you off your routine. So sometimes like the flexibility could be like, let's say you go to the gym every Monday, but you end up picking up a shift on Monday.
Yeah.
Instead of going on every Monday, then for that week you go on Tuesday.
There you go. There you go. Because then what it does is you're kind of like redirecting your mindset, and you I would say this, rechanging and rewiring your mindset to be able to say, okay, I'm not doing the same things where, like, you get comfortable. I like to be uncomfortable, because that's the only way that you're going to get somewhere. You have to be uncomfortable, which is now we're going to be uncomfortable with talking about the Alan and DJ's final thought, because you got to get uncomfortable to get to where you want to get to.
Absolutely.
So, DJ, what's the final thought that you want to tell the people when it comes to ways of implementing habit stacking?
Habit stacking is important because it gets you in the process of like not only like multitasking, but it gets you into a routine to where like eventually it makes you stay disciplined.
Most definitely. And with habit stacking, you have to be able to celebrate the small wins, man. Mm-hmm. You gotta, hey, dang, you know what, I did that, and I did that because I stayed more consistent. Or, dang, DJ, like, man, I really lost some 7 pounds. Man, okay, that's good, but give me 14 now. Celebrate the small wins. Like, celebrate that, hey, I got up in the morning for a week straight and I got stuff done. And also just refine and expand your mindset. And once you do that, you just became the very best version of yourself. So now this is the Alan and DJ Show. You can find the Alan and DJ Show at gmail.com. If you have any questions about what you want us to talk about next, you can also find the Alan and DJ Show on our fan page on Facebook and the Alan and DJ Show on YouTube. And you can also find my personal page, Alan Hutchinson, on Instagram and Facebook, or yours truly, the Herman the Monster, William J. Smith. Nah, well, he's not messing with you. On the Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, man. Start stacking those habits, and let's start stacking these wins up. Stay well. Stay healthy.
Peace.